Okay, in this example, we're going to explore using a while loop. We're going to do some pseudocode using a while loop and some calculations, and then we're going to implement our program in Java. So let's read our assignment. So design a program using pseudocode to prompt the user for the amount of a meal bill and how many ways to split it. So I'm going to ask for two inputs. First one will be what the total bill is, so that'll be a double, and then the number of ways to split will be an integer. I'll then add an 18% tip, and then I'll calculate the total for each person. Okay, and then I'm going to ask you if you want to repeat the process, and if you say yes, then I'll continue. If you say anything other than yes, this says continue until they say no, so we'll just interpret that as to say anything other than a yes is going to be a no. And then we'll keep going. So there'll be a while loop around this whole calculation so that we'll just continue to run the program until the user says that they don't want to do this anymore. Remember, we use a while loop when we don't know how many times we're going to run the process. We use a for loop when we know how many times we want to run this. In this case, we're going to run until the user says to stop. So we need a while loop for that. Okay, we're going to start with pseudocode, and then we're going to implement in Java. So I've already got a drawing, a Google drawing here. I've set my page size to be 8.5 by 11. I've got a nice little title at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and let's put in a text box. We'll just put it in here to cover the whole thing, and we'll set the font size to 11. Let's zoom in a little bit just so that we can see better. Let's begin doing our pseudocode. I could do pseudocode in Google Docs. Really doesn't matter as long as it's neat. So we'll start with the begin. Then, so now I need to do some declares. So let's go ahead and declare. We're going to have a double. It's going to be, we'll call it meal total. I'm going to declare a double for the tip amount. I'm going to declare an int as the ways to split. It'll be integer. And of course, in Java, these would actually be lowercase double, lowercase int. Okay, but this is pseudocode. Okay, so then, so now we have those defined. So let's go ahead. Next, we're going to do, we have to have a while loop, because remember, there's going to be a while loop around our whole code. So I have to have a condition for when the while loop ends. So I'm going to do a priming value. So I'm going to say, I'm going to declare a string. Actually, I'm going to declare a Boolean expression for continue. Let's call it keep going, actually. And we're going to see this approach a lot. The keep going loop, it's called. This is basically keep going until I tell you to stop. Then we're going to say declare keep going. We're going to say keep going equals true. Then we're going to say while keep going. Then we're going to indent. So now we have the block inside our while loop. Okay. Let's go ahead and make that uppercase. In pseudocode, it should be uppercase. While keep going, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt to say, enter the total of the meal bill. What is the total for the meal? Then I'm going to input meal total. Then I'm going to display how many ways should it be split. I'm going to input ways to split. Okay, so now I have the total of the meal and the number of ways to split. So let me calculate the tip. Tip amount equals meal total times 0.18. So that's 18%. Okay, so now we need to figure out what is the per person amount. So the per person amount will be the meal total plus the tip amount divided by the number of ways to split. So I need another variable for that. Let's say declare double per person. Let's say here, this is going to be per person equals, we'll use some parentheses to make sure we get our order of operations correct. Meal total plus the tip amount divided by the ways to split. Okay, that per person. Now this may not come out exact, right? So, it could be, a bill of $25 between three people is going to split exactly. So the three people will just have to figure out who pays the pennies at the end. Okay, per person. Now let's go ahead and print it all out. So let's say display total. Let's see, the tip amount is tip amount. Display total bill will be, and then we can just say meal total plus tip amount. Okay. And then we'll say display the share per person is, let's see, we want to say the number of times. So let's see the split, ways to split, ways comes to per person each. Okay. All right. Now, so I think that's it, right? So let's see, we calculated we asked for the total, we got the number of ways to split, we calculated the tip, we calculated the per person, we displayed it all out. So okay, so now that's good. So now we want to say, do you want to keep going or not? Display, do you want to calculate another bill? So you can put value. So this will be yes or no. So we need to declare that. See, we should call it, we can't call it value. That's not a good name. Let's call it response. Because it's the response from the user for what they want to continue doing. Okay, so input response. And then we'll do a decision here. If response equals yes, or let's just say not equals yes, because remember, anything other than yes is a no. If it's not equal to yes, then keep going equals false. And if. And we do and while. Okay. Maybe here after the end, we'll do a display. Thank you for using my tip and share calculator. Okay, I think that's got it. So here's we do a bunch of declarations, which in Java we'll do some of those in line, but here we have these up here. These are all the variables we're going to use. We define a Boolean variable called keep going. We put that in a while loop here. I call this the keep going loop. You'll see we're going to do this over and over again in this class. Let's see, so we prompt them to enter the meal total, we prompt them to enter the ways to split, we calculate the tip and the per person, then we do some displays, and we're done. I think that's right, the tip amount is the tip amount. Total, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, all right, so our pseudocode is done. All right, in a subsequent video, we'll implement this in actual code.